My name is Alvin Brown, tax attorney. I'm going to speak today about offers in compromise based on effective tax administration. We in the IRS call it ETA. These are offers in compromise where a taxpayer has the assets or the income to full pay their tax liability. However, they need it. They need it because of hardship. The Effective Tax Administration statute, change in the regulations, came in 1998 when Congress said to the IRS or Treasury they want a settlement procedure based on hardship. The IRS wrote the application of the rules. They came up with the concept of ETA and the application of hardship. And the hardship is when assets or income is absolutely needed for something that is critical, like health or age. So, a classic example would be a tax debt of $100,000 and a person has $200,000 in assets. That tax debt can be, that $100,000 tax debt can be eliminated completely to a small number, let's say $1,000, if we can demonstrate that the person needed the $200,000. The typical case would be where that $200,000 is needed for help. There's a serious health issue. There's not enough income to support the health problem. And there is a need to draw that money, and it's predictable that there's going to be a need for that money. We've had some success in ETA cases where there's real hardship. Normally they've been in the medical age category, and those are the only examples given in the IRS regulations dealing with ETA. I had one case which I thought was always kind of funny, where my client in the ETA claim had pictures of himself on a gurney with tubes on his face and bandages on his head, and he was a mess. He looked like a mess. Anyhow, we got ETA in that case. He portrayed a very simply important need for the assets. I had one recently in California where the taxpayers were very elderly, in their 90s, and they needed assets. They needed equity in their real estate to support them, and I was able to get that through. These are not easy cases. These are tough cases, and it's important to know that the IRS has an extra level of review on these cases, and they're hard to get through. So your expectations can't be high. There could be other special circumstances. There could be a need for income. People are losing jobs, and there are hardships, of course, in other areas and in other ways. But that's the general gist of it. You know what we do? We send them out with a legal memorandum, and we like to support it with as much documentation as we can. The legal memorandum really tells the IRS, what their rules are, what the statute says, what the regulations say. The examples in the regulations, examples on this in their Internal Revenue Manual, which covers this issue in some detail, and the legislative history, and of course the statutory change and the intent, the tax policy of the intent of the tax policy in these cases to take into account recognition of a particular hardship in any specific case. These same principles apply in debtors to collectability cases. I mean, the only difference between an ETA case, indebtedness to collectability case, is that in ETA there's more assets than the tax debt. In indebtedness to collectability cases, there's less assets and less collectability than the tax debt, but the rationale should be the same. So anytime we qualify someone for a indebtedness to collectability case, that can also qualify for an ETA case, because the same circumstances will be taken into account. This issue really requires very strong advocacy by a qualified attorney. I don't think that anyone who is not doesn't have a lot of experience in this area can handle these kinds of cases. As I indicated, they're the most difficult kind. In general, I end up talking to different levels of IRS management and trying to get this thing pushed through. And we throw in a lot of support, a lot of aid support or medical support, and those two things generally overlap. I haven't seen ETA applied in any other type of case other than age or health, but it should. I mean, I think that it's possible to come up with a situation where there are other kinds of hardship. Simply, inability to get a job. I think why wouldn't that not qualify? I'm not sure, except that as difficult as it is in an age or a health issue, it would even be much more difficult. But recently, Congress has indicated that they want to remove the 20% deposit on offers of compromise, and they want to take into account levies on Social Security. So I think we have a Congress today that is a little bit more flexible than the prior Congress. So I think perhaps there's some legislative history that we'll bring to bear that might be additionally helpful in these cases. If you have any questions on these kinds of issues, I'd be happy to discuss it with you. My phone number is 888-712-7690, extension 106. That's 888-712-7690, extension 106. My fax number is 703-425-1567. Anyhow, thanks for listening. Call if you have any questions on this very difficult and complicated topic.